Now it's time to decode what is it that lies ahead. First up, let's talk about the defense partnership, the deepening of the defense ties between Pakistan and Turkey. Now, Turkey is Pakistan's second largest weapon supplier, next only to China. Now, the second important part is that it also supports Pakistan's major naval modernization. There's $1 billion plus deal that is for the corvettes. Then there are upgrades to the Augusta 90B submarines, all that in the pipeline, where the reason Ankara is so important for Islamabad. And third and foremost also is the fact that the Pakistani drone development relies very heavily on Turkish machinery. We've talked about the Bayraktar drones that we saw during Operation Sindoor. The backbone of that is this partnership, which is why this is so important. Now, that's the defense side of it. Let's now also talk about the specific arms sales that could be in the pipeline. This meeting is important. It's likely to have two clear implications. This could be one, the arms sales, the potential arms sales that could be there. Now, in small arms category, it could be the MPT rifles, which will have an impact as far as infantry modernization for Islamabad is concerned. Next could be the tanks that could have a huge boost to the armored capabilities of Pakistan. This could be the Alte MBT category of tanks. And the third and last could be the missiles, which would have a huge impact on the strike and air defense capabilities as far as Turkey is concerned. Now, why this is all important, one needs to also understand from a geopolitical side of it. As far as the defense side of it is concerned, we're going to try and get in my colleague Shivaru to decode this in greater detail. But the most important part one needs to understand is the strategic alignment as far as Pakistan and Turkey is concerned. We spoke about the defense side of it. This is the geopolitical aspect to it as to why this matters. Pakistan backs Turkey when it comes to its Saudi-UAE Muslim rivalry. That's the jostling that has been going on with Erdogan and some of its Gulf neighbors since 2003. And Pakistan helps Ankara there, and which is why this is so important. And the next part is it backs Turkey when it comes to its campaign against Greece in the UN. So this is a symbiotic relationship, viewers, we told you. There is the defense side of it, there's a geopolitical side to it, and the underlying theme and the backbone of that, of course, is the Pan-Islamic Brotherhood. Now, let me now get in my colleague Shivaru to talk more about the impact this has as far as the defense capabilities, the larger messaging. Shiv, we told our viewers as to why this visit is so significant, the importance of it, but help us decode what it could potentially mean from a war preparedness point of view.
This is a very important issue that you've raised, Gauri, and the reason why the nexus between Pakistan and Turkey is so important is because, remember, Pakistan already has a literally endless supply of weaponry courtesy China, but by liaising with Turkey and as has been demonstrated visibly during Operation Sindoor, Turkey is not just a seller of equipment to Pakistan. There are all those geopolitical and strategic links that you just described. There is the Pan-Islamic Brotherhood that Erdogan has been looking for. But very, very importantly, Turkey's military-industrial complex has actually been remarkably successful. This is a country that's in a bit of the doghouse as far as the United States is concerned. But as a member of NATO, there are many other considerations as far as India is concerned for the fact that Turkey has not only been supplying attack drones to Pakistan, many of which were used mostly unsuccessfully against India during Operation Sindoor, but there are many other pieces of equipment, including possibly attack helicopters, tanks like you just mentioned, other ground equipment, air defense missiles, and other lower cost military hardware could find a very steady and reliable supplier in Turkey as far as Pakistan is concerned. So you have a situation where if hostilities break out, Pakistan can depend not just on China, but also on Turkey. Point number two is Turkey is looking at itself as a kind of rising regional sphere of influence in that area. The sticking point has been Greece. India did its own messaging recently as far as Cyprus is concerned. Ties with Greece have also increased, very much targeted at the manner in which Turkey is now looked at as a combatant and a hostile entity as far as India is concerned, even though we have close diplomatic relations. But the nexus between China, Pakistan and Turkey is one that needs to be looked at extremely closely. You had India's Deputy Army Chief explicitly call this out recently, which is unprecedented on many levels, but it will remain to be seen how it goes out. Remember, the one thing we'll have to look out is a very volatile, whimsical and unpredictable president sitting in the White House in the United States, and therefore any actions or any strategies that India espouses or embraces in order to handle this entire nexus is going to be very dependent on what's happening in Washington, D.C.
Absolutely, Shiv. Thanks much for breaking that down for us. NDTV's managing editor, Shiv Arur, giving us that lowdown in terms of why this is significant and why this is so important.